accompanied by Padre Pio, to rediscover the simple answer to this question. It is an answer that transformed a young boy born in Pietrelcina into a saint. The same can happen to you and me if we are willing to seek, find, and stay with Jesus. One of the great fallacies of modern life is the presumption that everything must be complicated. Perhaps this is true for the ways of the world. However, Padre Pio invites us on a simple journey to find what our hearts are looking for in Jesus. It is a journey that asks us to leave aside our presumptions, our distractions, and the values of our modern world. We are asked to walk with a simple faith that trusts that God loved us so much that He sent His only Son into the world so you and I might one day enjoy unending joy and peace. By walking this journey, you and I will eventually discover what Padre Pio found, the Lord Himself walking with us every step of the way. Through the insights offered in this book, Padre Pio is inviting us to begin a journey to find what our hearts are truly looking for. Are you and I willing to take the first step? Most Reverend Frank J. Caggiano, Bishop of Bridgeport, Connecticut. Introduction. I'm not really sure when I first heard about Padre Pio. Most likely it was in my teenage years. At that time, Padre Pio was still alive, and stories came from Italy about him and the miracles associated with him. I was always curious about who he was, but being a teenager, I was preoccupied with my friends and other concerns, so I put any thoughts of Padre Pio aside. In 1995, 27 years after his death, I visited San Giovanni Rotondo for the first time. As I walked along the corridors of Padre Pio's convent, I could feel his presence everywhere. I heard stories about his mystical gifts and saw his clothing stained with blood from his stigmata. At first, I wondered how it was possible for him to bear such pain, but then I saw the greatness of it all. He was able to bear the pain because he was never alone in his suffering. Our Lord and Our Lady were always at his side. At times, they were visibly present. Many times during the course of Padre Pio's life, the Lord rewarded him by coming to him, often in the form of a little child. On many occasions, Padre Pio carried the child Jesus in his arms as he walked and prayed, his face glowing in ecstatic love for this child. His joy became indescribable when the Christ child would appear to him on Christmas Eve, and so it should be for all of us. The anticipation of Advent, leading to the profound joy of receiving Jesus on Christmas Day. Of course, Padre Pio's mystical gifts were both extraordinary and unique. Most of us will never receive such a special visitation from the Christ child during Advent. Instead, we set up our nativity scenes and wait with joyful anticipation for Christmas to arrive. I place many nativity scenes around my house during Advent. In these, I ceremoniously place the child Jesus in the manger at midnight on Christmas Eve. That loving gesture is a special moment for me, a moment when I can show my love for the child Jesus. This is a love that no one knew better than Padre Pio, who had the great fortune of holding this precious child in his arms on many occasions in his life. Where did Padre Pio's great love of the Christ child come from? To understand this, we need to go back to the beginning, to the tiny hamlet of Pietrelcina, Italy, where we will find a child who would capture the minds and the hearts of people around the world. This child showed signs of extraordinary gifts of grace, and by the age of 5, he dedicated his life to God. But who was this child, and why had he been chosen? The early life of Padre Pio. On May 25, 1887, Francesco Forgione, Padre Pio, was born to Grazio and Maria Giuseppa Forgione. Francesco lived a simple Christian life. He was barely 5 years old when he began to cherish the idea of consecrating his life to God. Francesco was a quiet child.